What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Weekly Retro Stuff. This is episode 32, and every week we bring you cool things that are going on in the retro communities, whether it's Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. If it's retro video game related and it's cool, we're going to do our best to let you know about it. New episodes come out 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Friday. And this week, we have a new indie game on the NES that might be the coolest NES game ever developed. There's also a new world record, and there's a randomizer for many people's favorite game. Some people actually hate the game, but all I can say is it's not a terrible night to have a randomizer. Everyone loves when new things are created for old things they already love. I realize that's super vague, but hear me out. Okay, what if I told you that a new NES game came out at the end of last year? Alright, I get it. New NES games seems like they come out more and more often. But what if I told you that it might be the most impressive NES game ever developed? Yeah, I think I have your attention now. This game is called Full Quiet.
This is Full Quiet.
Full Quiet is a side-scrolling open-world action game, which those words alone are really crazy to say about an NES game. There's a day and night cycle that adds a lot to the suspense, because if you don't make it back to a safe place by nightfall, you're in for some trouble. With a full map, inventory system, puzzles, and even crafting elements, you're on a mission to find your son, who was kidnapped by something. And whatever that something is, now has to deal with you and your crafty ways.
I've got to find my son.
The game's visuals are absolutely incredible, with a beautiful use of parallaxing that adds a ton of depth to the environments. And they managed to cram all of this awesomeness into an actual physical NES cart. That's right, you can get a physical copy of this masterpiece. One of my favorite features about this game is that you can actually plug a physical Super Nintendo controller into your NES. Now granted, you do have to do some modifications to be able to get the Super Nintendo controller adapted for the NES port, but turns out that the NES can use all of the Super Nintendo buttons. It doesn't just detect them, they're usable, and the game just knows that, and it works from the get. And you can map your buttons however you want. This alone broke my brain big time. I was like a month old. I was like a month ago old when I learned about this, and it's crazy. I hope that other games take advantage of this. I will warn you that this game is super immersive, so if you're really wanting to dive into Full Quiet, you're going to want to take notes along the way. A casual playthrough tends to be about 20 hours long. The game is being ported to consoles as well. I'm not sure about every console they plan on porting it to, but for sure they're putting it on the Switch. At least it looks like they're putting it on the Switch based on this picture. And if all this isn't crazy enough, what if I told you there's a madman who decided to sit down and route out the speedrun for this game? Creating a speedrun route for an open world game is no easy task, but when Evil Elf sat down to play this game, he fell in love, and he knew what he had to do. While routing the game, he even managed to sucker other amazing runners into the madness with him. Currently, there are 2 runs on the board. Confused Mike has a second place time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 29 seconds, and Evil Elfo is sitting in first with a 1 hour and 17 minute time, but there are others currently routing out their runs, so who's going to be the next to post a time? With a bunch of top-level runners picking apart this game, it's speculated with current strats that the fastest time could drop around 1 hour and 10 minutes. But strats and everything are developing very quickly, and new things keep being discovered, and the time just keeps getting lowered and lowered. So it's possible that we could even see a sub 1 hour time. New things could pop up that could save tons of time. The real question is, who's going to be the first to get that sub hour? If you're looking for an amazing game to play casually, then this is probably it. Well, not super casually, because you will probably have to take notes, or at least reference maps, or there's a lot going on in this game, but it's worth it. Or if you're just looking to jump into learning the speedrun and want to contribute to finding new strats, you could be the person that finds the new strat, the new time save that pushes this game below an hour. It's kind of crazy what's going on, and I can say for sure I can't wait to see what is going to happen next. I hope that you're involved. Do it. Nah, for real. Check it out. The The Shatterhand ANY world record has been held by Stans since at least September 30th of 2022, where it sat at a 1952. But recently, big things have been happening. A runner by the name of Paclamac started running Shatterhand sometime in 2021, with their first run being submitted to SRC on June 17th, 2021. 6 months later, they had taken the ANY world record for the Japanese version of the game with a 1941. And on November 10th, 2022, they had also taken the record for the US version with a 1949. Then on February 19th of 2023, a very skilled runner decided to upload their first time to SRC. That time was a 2004 in the ANY category for the US version. That runner's name is Ahmad. They continued to push their time down, and by March 13th, they were already in second place with an impressive time of 1944. Determined to get a better time, they kept going. And on April 3rd, 2023, they did this.
Yes!
The run was initially timed to be a 1916, but was frame counted to be a 1915. This is not only a new world record, but it puts them more than 30 seconds ahead of second place. I reached out to find out if there were new strats discovered to push Ahmad so far ahead of second place, but I haven't heard back yet. As soon as I find out, I'll be sure to let everybody know, because that is a huge gap between first and second place. If there's not new strats involved, then it's possible that Ahmad's farts have propelled him past everybody else. After only 11 days of playing Ninja Gaiden low percent category, the Retro Runner already has a 12, 16, and 66 milliseconds. That's right, a 12-1, 666. There was a bounty put out by Beta Complainer, and the goal was to get the world record by 2 weeks. Will he do it? Time's gonna tell, but I suggest you be there to find out. Professor Retro did it. He got his goal time of sub 21 minutes in the 100% category for Goonies 2 on the NES. And now, he reports to be going back to get his no out of bounds 100% world record back. And I did get an update on the Shatterhand stuff, and it sounds like there was a combination of old strats combined with new strats, and essentially it all revolves around managing your pickups, your power-ups, the best that you can to eliminate as much randomness as possible, therefore gaining time. A group of streamers and runners have come together to create a Castlevania II randomizer. The way it works is you'll head to the URL in the description and click on Start Playing. There are tons of options to choose from. Things like typing out your own seed, randomization logic, how often hearts drop, and much, much more. You can even change your character sprite and color palettes. You will have to provide your own ROM, but once that's placed, you simply click the randomize button and it will generate a randomized ROM for your enjoyment. What they're doing is seriously impressive and breathes tons of new life into this game. They recently released version 1.8.6, which added a map randomizer, and they continue to make updates, so it's only going to get better. Go check this out, because it truly is a terrible night not to have a randomizer. And that's what we got for you this week. It's so funny, because I sat down to record this, and I was like, I should change. I should put on something different. I should set up my outfit or do something fancy. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm just going to wear what I would wear. What am I even doing? I even wore this hat, even though it's got this like green section here that's probably going to end up not being able to be seen because, you know, green screen, what are words? I don't care. This is what I wear. I'm proud of it, but I hope you enjoyed this episode and I will see you next week. My name is Stuff is Stuff and I love you. I'll see you soon, but I'm not your real dad either. I don't think. Call up Maury.